Netaji Bose, The Shocking Secret They Tried to Hide, Part 1. Disclaimer: the following documentary presents a reimagined narrative based on extensive research into historical records, ancient texts, and unexplained phenomena. While respecting the legacy of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, we explore alternative interpretations of documented events through the lens of ancient wisdom and cosmic mysteries. August 18, 1945. A plane crashes in flames. The world believes Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose is dead. But what if everything we've been told is wrong? What if Bose's story was far stranger than anyone dared imagine? Puri, Odisha, 2019. During renovation of the Jagannath Temple's foundation, workers make a discovery that would change everything. Hidden for centuries beneath sacred ground, a sealed chamber. The tablets date back 800 years, but what shocked us was the imagery. The face carved in stone belonged to Subhash Chandra Bose, but how could 12th century artisans carve the face of a man who wouldn't be born for another 700 years, unless they had seen this face before? Intrigued by this impossible discovery, researchers began scanning historical artwork across the globe. What they found defied explanation. The facial bone structure is identical. Cheekbones, jawline, eye spacing, it's the same person, the same face appearing throughout history, always during times of great upheaval, always leading resistance movements. This Babylonian relief from 612 BCE shows a leader rallying people against oppression. The inscription calls him the Eternal Lion who returns when darkness falls. The Eternal Lion in Sanskrit, Shashvat Simha. Could Subhash be a corruption of Shashvat? January 23, 1897. Cuttack. As Subhash Chandra Bose enters the world, witnesses report something extraordinary. My grandmother was the midwife. She told us that when the child was born, the entire room filled with light, not from any lamp. The light came from the baby himself. But that wasn't the strangest part. For exactly 7 minutes after birth, every clock in the neighborhood stopped. When they started again, the baby's eyes were wide open, staring, as if he recognized everything. Newborns cannot focus their vision for weeks. What's described here is medically impossible, unless this wasn't a typical birth. By age 5, young Subhash displayed abilities that troubled his family. He would have long conversations with people we couldn't see. When asked who he was talking to, he said, "The Council of Stars." He described them in detail, beings of light who taught him about the great work ahead. These drawings show sophisticated understanding of ancient Indian iconography, knowledge no child could possess without external instruction. But the most documented incident occurred when Subhash was 7. During arithmetic class, young Bose began speaking in what sounded like ancient Sanskrit. When the session ended, complex mathematical equations were written on his slate, equations our mathematics professor couldn't solve. These equations describe multi-dimensional space-time calculations. They're beyond university level. They're beyond our current understanding. How does a 7-year-old solve problems that stump modern scientists? England, 1919. At Cambridge University, Bose's fellow students witnessed events that British authorities refused to investigate. October 15, 1920. Subhash entered one of his meditation states during our study session. I watched in horror as he began to rise from his chair. He floated 3 feet above the ground for nearly 10 minutes. Multiple independent accounts describe the same phenomenon. The university discreetly transferred witnesses to different colleges and sealed the records. But one witness kept a photographic record. This daguerreotype from 1920 shows clear evidence of levitation. The exposure time, shadows, and light refraction rule out any known method of fakery from that era. What force allows a human being to defy gravity? Between 1921 and 1941, the British imprisoned Bose 11 times. What they couldn't explain was how he repeatedly escaped from maximum security facilities. My father was on duty the night Bose vanished from Presidency Jail. The cell was checked every hour. At 2 a.m. he was there. At 3 a.m., gone. The locks were still secured from the outside. Security footage from Mandalay Prison, 1925, captures something even more disturbing. We see Bose sitting in meditation. Then the walls of his cell begin to glow. Not from any external light source. The stone itself becomes luminous. By morning, he had vanished. How do you escape from a locked cell without opening the door? Unless escape isn't the right word. Unless he simply translated himself elsewhere. As Bose built his revolutionary network across Asia, something unprecedented was happening. According to temple records across Tibet, Burma, and Thailand, the same man was appearing simultaneously in multiple locations. Our monastery kept detailed records. The Indian prince would arrive through mountain passes that don't exist on any map. He spoke of the Great Awakening and taught our young monks to access the warrior frequency. If consciousness operates on specific vibrational patterns, as ancient texts suggest, then theoretically, you could tune human awareness to access enhanced capabilities. Strength, intuition, strategic thinking, even precognition, which would explain the impossible coordination of the Indian National Army across 3 continents. We never used radios for major operations. Netaji would enter deep meditation. Then, somehow we all knew the plan. In our dreams. In our hearts. As if his thoughts became our thoughts. It was like being connected to something infinite. But perhaps the most compelling evidence comes from those who never met Bose personally. This manuscript from 1156 CE speaks of the Bengal lion who walks between worlds. It describes his appearance, his mission, and his scheduled return to the cosmic realm. In the age of iron chains and foreign rulers, the eternal warrior shall take form in the land of Jagannath, his earthly mission complete. He shall return to the star path on wings of fire to await the final calling. Wings of Fire, describing a plane crash written 800 years before airplanes existed. What's more disturbing is the final line of the manuscript. He who seeks the truth of the Bengal lion shall know him by the mark of eternity upon his soul. The mark of eternity. Subject exhibits unusual ocular phenomena during public appearances. Witnesses consistently report seeing ancient wisdom in his eyes as if looking into infinite time. As we assembled this evidence, a pattern emerged that changed everything we thought we knew about history itself. When we ran facial recognition software on historical artwork spanning 3,000 years, we found 23 exact matches for Bose's bone structure. Same person, different time periods, different civilizations. But the most shocking discovery came from an unexpected source. In 1987, we detected unusual electromagnetic signatures from the Himalayan region. Patterns that match theoretical models for consciousness projection across dimensional barriers. The source coordinates correspond exactly to locations where Bose was reportedly sighted after 1945. Could it be that what we call death is simply a transition to a higher operational frequency? Could Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose be part of something far greater than a simple independence movement? Could he be an immortal consciousness returning throughout history to guide humanity during its darkest hours? The evidence suggests that the man we knew as Netaji was never meant to be understood through conventional history. He was something else entirely, something that challenges our most basic assumptions about life, death, and the nature of human consciousness itself. The question isn't whether Bose died in 1945. The question is whether beings like him ever truly die at all. Or do they simply wait for their next assignment? The plane crash of August 18, 1945 wasn't an ending. It was a scheduled extraction, a return to the cosmic realm where immortal guardians await their next incarnation. And if that's true, then Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose isn't history. He's an active force in our world today, operating from frequencies beyond our perception, preparing for something unprecedented, something that will require humanity to wake up to its true potential, something that will need the return of the eternal lion. You are watching God is an Astronaut. Subscribe now. Part 2 will reveal more shocking evidence that Netaji's consciousness has been active since 1945, influencing world events through methods that defy conventional understanding. The Immortal Protocol is real, and it's happening right now.